I feel like people subscribe to other people's YouTube channels because they might be funny, or they might have something interesting to say, or they might say something insightful about a topic that they know a lot about. We'll be proving in this video today that I'm not very insightful and that I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to be going back through my 2022-2023 predictions from this season, from the 6th tier of Scotland to the top. And let me just say, do you know what? I've actually not done as badly as what I've just made out in my intro here. I'm actually fairly proud of some of the shouts. Starting off with the East of Scotland League, this is what I said 9 months ago. For me, I'm going with Linlithgow Rose. I think Linlithgow Rose have a fantastic setup, an amazing stadium, and a lovely town as well. Good area, they're near Edinburgh, so they can probably pick up players quite easily compared to someone like Vale of Leven who are in the borders. So for me, winners of the East of Scotland League are going to be Linlithgow Rose. And we're starting off with a winner, Linlithgow Rose. Look at that. If it could all just keep on going up from here, that'd be amazing. But let me tell you, it doesn't. Moving on, West of Scotland League. My money has to be on Darvel again this year. They missed out, like I mentioned earlier, on the playoffs last season, but they've strengthened really, really well. For instance, one of their signings, Ross Meakin, was at Forfar last season, and he's gone and signed for Darvel. So they're obviously a really, really ambitious club. Yeah, I think you would have been a silly man or woman to have backed against Darvel this season, especially considering they had won the last couple of leagues, I think, before that. Certainly the one before. So, yeah, they obviously did really well in the Cups. I was obviously very aware of Darvel, done a lot of videos there before, but they gained sort of national and international fame this season after beating Aberdeen and stuff. So, yeah, I thought Darvel would win the league. They came second in the end. Congratulations, Beath, on winning the league. They will not be getting promoted, though, because they haven't got a licence, which would allow them to go to the 5th tier. So it's Linlithgow Rose who will be going up to the Lowland League. But yeah, I was correct with the East of Scotland League. I was one away in the West of Scotland League because I said it would be Darvel and they finished second. But what about the Lowland League? East Kilbride, the biggest town, I think, in Scotland without an SPFL club. That is until now. I think East Kilbride are finally going to put their Lowland League history to the side and finally get promoted to League 2. Yep, I said East Kilbride. They have won the Lowland League a number of times. I think they've won it a couple of times before, actually. I think they've missed out on the playoffs, I think once or twice, maybe on penalties, I want to say. But they've not had the best of season. They came 6th. They came 6th. I thought they'd be top, but they weren't. It was Spartans. Again, congratulations, Spartans. Another team who's won the Lowland League before, but haven't gone up because of just losing the playoff, basically. Obviously, they need to open up the pyramid. That's not what this video is about. You know my views on that. But if you are new to the channel, then Scottish football doesn't really allow too much promotion and relegation. Even if you win one of the lower leagues, you have to win a series of playoffs just to get promoted, basically. So, yeah, Spartans, league winners, East Kilbride 6th. Big story about East Kilbride is, we just spoke about Darvel, their manager has joined them, and he's taken Cy Ferry with him as his assistant as well. So, going to be interesting down at K Park next season. We're going to have to go down there and do a couple of videos to see what those lads think about the season, just looking down at who's coming next. Highland League, here we go. This is what I said earlier at the start of the season. Banks OD have got a really, really good chance in the Highland League this season. Fraserburgh and Bucky, who finished 1st and 2nd last season, they are going to be impacted by the League Cup, I believe. You know, they are playing games right now when the other Highland League teams are just preparing and still in their pre-season, whereas they're already playing competitive games. So I feel like that could probably hinder them a little bit. You also can't discount Brecon and Brora. But for me, it's Banks OD. How often have we seen it in Scotland where teams... Cove are a great example of getting promoted. We've seen it with Kelty, promoted. You'll see a few back-to-back promotions, and for me, I think Banks OD will do it again. Yeah, I said Banks OD, who actually finished 10th. I think this, yeah, out of all of them, is my furthest away from where they actually finished. I thought they'd get back-to-back promotion. There's a lot of teams in Scotland who have gone straight up through a number of divisions, and I thought Banks OD would be one of them, just back-to-back promotions up a few divisions, but it wasn't quite to be for them this season. Although they finished 10th, they had a 24-point deduction. Had they have had those 24 points, they'd have actually finished 6th. So basically the same as my East Kilbride shout. I thought they'd be champions. Points-wise, they should have come 6th. I think they fielded an ineligible player or something. They got deducted 24 points, which is a lot. So still to come 10th, I still feel like they are obviously one of the better teams in the league. But Brecon won the league. Very historic for them. They obviously got relegated a couple of years ago. Kelty Hearts, actually took their place in the league after beating them in the playoffs, but Brecon fighting their way back now. They won the Highland League. At the time of filming this, they've already played the first leg of the Highland Lowland playoff. They lost 1-0 at Spartans, and the game at Brecon is coming up, so that'll be a big one. Anyway, moving on to League 2, here's what I said. For me, it has to be former champions of Scotland, Dumbarton. They're a little bit of a yo-yo club in sort of League 2 and League 1, aren't they, Dumbarton? I've seen them play a few times, but I can see them doing well. They're a well-run, well-established club in the Scottish League system. They were the first ever champions of Scotland the first 2 years. They shared the first one with Rangers. They won the second one outright. They have fantastic history, fantastic heritage, and I think they'll win League 2 this season and bounce straight back up to League 1. I thought Dumbarton would win it, and I think a lot of people would have done as well, especially earlier in the season. I think they were 10 points clear, or definitely 8 points clear. There were a lot of points clear at one stage, and they've absolutely thrown it away. Some of their results have been terrible. I think they were 4-0 down at home to Albion Rovers, who are currently bottom and look like they will be in the relegation playoff this season. That wasn't too long ago. I don't know what happened to them. They've just absolutely crumbled at the end of this season. Sadly, Dumbarton, but they have come second. So again, I wasn't far off, and I think had they been able to continue their earlier good form, the second half of the year, they'd have been all right. But Stirling Albion didn't quite come out of the traps like Dumbarton did, but they've ground them down over the season and have done well to have won the league. So Stirling Albion, winners of League 2. Fair play. Who did I say for League 1? Oh, God. Here we go. Just check this out. This one is so hard to call. I said Falkirk would do it last year. One day it's got to come true. So I reckon Falkirk, if I keep saying it enough, they will eventually win the league. So this year, and they have actually had some really good League Cup results as well. They beat Hibs yesterday or the day before from when I'm filming this. So they have had some really good results already in the League Cup. So Falkirk, saying they're going to win the league. So I was actually at the League 1 Trophy Day just a few days ago. Dunfermline, unreal scenes, absolutely loved my time there. But I went with Falkirk, who came second in the end this season. Two big rivals as well, Dunfermline and Falkirk. So sorry, Pars fans, I didn't back you earlier this season. I probably should have done, given how well you've done this year. One League 1 at a canter, really. I'm looking down the divisions. And yeah, apart from maybe the Premiership, although Celtic have only sort of pulled away more recent weeks, I feel like Dunfermline have maybe won the league sort of easier than anyone else in the SPFL this year. Again, Dumbarton and Stirling were neck and neck for a little while before Stirling pulled away, but I feel like Dunfermline have known that they'd be champions for a while. I don't know, maybe it hasn't been as easy as that for them, but yeah, Dunfermline, champions of League 1. Falkirk came second, so again, I wasn't too far off, all right? Championship next, what did I say for that? But for me, Inverness Caledonian Thistle, they're a young squad, they're a year on. I would love to see them win it. They're a really cool club. They did really well last season. Like I say, they finished up there. They just missed out on the playoffs against St Johnstone, who are a well-established club, who I don't think should have been as low as they were. So for me, I think Inverness Caledonian Thistle are going to go one further this year and win the championship. God, that was a bit of a shocker. I went with Inverness Caledonian Thistle, who at the time of recording this are currently 5th. So the championship is so tight right now. At the time of recording this, there was one game left in the championship, and it is going to be decided the final day of the season. The top two are playing each other. Queen's Park against Dundee. Whoever wins that will win the league. If it's a draw, Dundee will go up. But yeah, I went with Cali Thistle, who are currently 5th, but still could finish in a number of positions. Championship this year has been so tight and so hard to call, but yeah, at this stage it's looking like it will probably be Dundee, but if it is Queen's Park, fair play to them. That's some story from where they were just a couple of years ago. And then the Premiership, I think I decided it with a coin toss, didn't I? So let's just look back on that. Here we go, we've got a quid. We've got a quid here, right, so that is heads there. I'm going to go heads, because Rangers like the Queen. I'm going to go heads there. I'll put tails top because Celtic won the league last year. Heads is for Rangers, tails is for Celtic. Here we go. It's tails. That is tails. So I have to say my prediction is for Celtic to win the league again. The coin has spoken. Yep, there we go. Decided it with a coin toss, but I was correct anyway with Celtic. I do still feel like, yeah, it is a little bit of a toss-up between like who's going to win it. As I mentioned in that video, I'm not sure if I showed it now, but in the predictions video, it was hard to predict Celtic to win the league in the first season with Ange because Rangers had just won it, and it was hard to predict Rangers to win that league that season because obviously Celtic were on however many in a row. So yeah, I feel like it is always not as easy to call. And although Celtic have just won 2, who's to say that Ange won't get picked up by Spurs in the summer, and they have some manager come in who's not the level required, and Celtic don't go on and win the league and Rangers do. Who's to say that won't happen next season? I'm not sure. But the way things are at the moment, you wouldn't look past them again, obviously, for next season if Andrew was to stay there and stuff. But yeah, they've obviously been so dominant. They've beaten or drawn with Rangers this season. Rangers haven't beaten Celtic this season in 5 meetings. Celtic have only lost 1 game in the league against St Mirren, who have had a good season themselves. But yeah, they've been absolutely dominant, and they're also obviously the winners of the League Cup. And at the time of recording this, they are going to be playing Inverness Caledonian Thistle in the Scottish Cup final in a few weeks as well. So looking likely that they will win a treble as well. So Celtic, a hugely successful season for them. I did actually go into a little bit of depth in the Premiership in that video as well, so you can go back and watch that. I did actually touch on Ross County, who are currently bottom. I said that they probably would struggle. They sold Regan Charles Cook in the summer, who was their top scorer of the season before. So you take those goals out, you're going to struggle. And yeah, they sadly have this year. And someone always has to finish bottom. They aren't guaranteed to finish bottom yet. There's still quite a few games to play, obviously, after the split and stuff. But yeah, it is looking likely that Ross County might be the team to go down. So what did you think of my predictions? What were your predictions at the start of the season? Did you expect Darvel to win the West of Scotland League, or did you expect Spartans to win the Lowland League? What about the Highland League? What were your thoughts on that and the rest of the leagues in the SPFL? Let me know. Did you think the Rangers would do a little bit better? Did you think they'd push Celtic a little bit closer this year? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And what did you think of my predictions? I don't think I did too badly. Some, like League 1 and League 2, I was 1 position off. The West of Scotland League, I was 1 off. There's a few that I was a little bit out by, but I think I did alright in the end. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you aren't already. I will even leave the predictions video here, so go and check it out. You can watch it right now and see my entire predictions and a few more of my reasonings behind my decisions. Yeah, if you click on that and go and watch it right now. So yeah, thank you so much for all the support, and goodbye.